Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Armor Gaming. More importantly, welcome back to my very first monster analysis video where I'm going to go through every single monster and give you the breakdown of why I choose the moves I do and how good I think the monster is in the entire game. So first up is our very own VoltaiK. Alright, VoltaiK is a pretty amazing monster. He's arguably the best, if not one of the best monsters in the whole entire game. If you play PvP, you'll realize that he's in almost every single team. If not him, it's usually Barbados. So you can, when a monster's in every single team, you know they're good. Alright, so let's start by looking at his stats. So here we have a level 100 VoltaiK. His power is 3,355. It's not the strongest power, but it is a slightly higher than the average power, which is 3,256. And the median power is 3,311. So it's still slightly higher than the mean or the median. If you're asking how I know this, I have an Excel sheet of every single monster power, life, and speed that's ever come out. So I take the time to write down every single monster's name and their power so I can easily calculate the average or the median and any information I need to give accurate information about the monster stats. So next we'll move on to his life. He has 24,429. Now his life is pretty weak. It's actually significantly less than the average life, which is 28,206, or the median life, which is 28,651. But VoltaiK doesn't really need high life because his job is just to attack endlessly and win you the game. And then we'll take a look at his speed, 3,465. That is significantly higher than the average speed, which is 3,290. And even the median speed, which is 3,399. So he's pretty fast. His base stats are pretty good, minus life. But then again, you don't really need life. You just need to have a proper support monster who will stun or freeze, or my favorite support monster, Timerion, to use cooldowns activated and stop time, and give VoltaiK a chance to attack, and you're set. So he's a thunder type, so his weakness is earth. His trait is hardened, and that basically makes all status effects have a 20% less accuracy against it. And this is super amazing, actually. There's so many times when he's been able to dodge a freeze or avoid being frozen, avoid being stunned. So really, really good. Alright, let's move on to his abilities. So I'm not going to bother with Fast Strike or Power Ball. Those are going to be removed right away. His special attack is pretty amazing. Deals very heavy special damage to all enemy team. Now it's not the strongest at 75 right here, but you see that doesn't really matter because VoltaiK can attack so many times that there's a really high chance that he's going to get his ultimate. So if you ever need a finisher, there you go. It attacks multiple enemies. It's an AoE, so you can end with that move. As far as the skill group 1 move, electrodynamic daze, blindy ball, static impacts, you're not going to be using any of these because none of them are really that useful. The moves you will be using fall in the, let me see, scroll down here, in the skill group 2 and skill group 3. Alright, so I recommend a move you must have is electrodynamic assault. And the reason you want this move is because it has a 0 cooldown, which means you can use it non-stop. All his other moves have a 1 turn cooldown at least. So if you don't have assault, you won't be able to continue the chain of endless attacks. Yeah, it's not that strong, and it does take a lot of stamina, but it's absolute must if you're going to use VoltaiK. The second move I recommend you use is 20,000 volts. And I recommend you choose 20,000 volts over 50,000 volts. Let me scroll down a bit so you can compare both of the moves. So 20k volts deals moderate thunder damage, gives an extra turn, 35 damage, 45 stamina. 50k volts deals heavy thunder damage, 50 damage, 75 stamina. Huge difference also between cooldowns. 20k volts has a 1 turn cooldown, 50k volts has a 4 turn cooldown. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I could just use both of them. That's totally fine. Many people do that. I actually suggest you, instead of choosing both, you choose 20k volts. And that's because if you do the calculations, if you do the math, 50k volts would cost 225 stamina, and the damage would be 150. That's just simply multiplying both of these qualities right here, both of these qualities by 3. So stamina 225, damage 150. If you do the very same thing with 20k volts, to use 225 stamina, you'd be able to attack 5 times. 5 times 35 is 175. So as a damage to stamina ratio, 20k volts gives you, it's better, to put it simply. And the one turn cooldown is a huge plus. And I know everyone is thinking, well, 50k volts is really, really strong. Yeah, that's true, but most of the support monsters you fight are going to be water-based, because the best monsters that can freeze and stun are all water-based. You know, you have White Walker, you have Sphernus, you have Varuna, you have all these water-based monsters, General Thetis, that are super good at stopping you from attacking. But if you can use 20k volts twice, that's significantly better than using 150k volts. So I recommend you use Electrodynamic Assaults and you use 20k volts just because it's better than 50k volts, and I recommend you use Static Shocks. So you need the entire skill group too. And Static Shocks, it's good because it attacks all 3 monsters. You can slowly take life out of everyone in the same turn. So I normally do Static Shocks, Electrodynamic Assault, Static Shocks, Electrodynamic Assault with my VoltaiK, and that's because when I started off the game, I used 50k volts, and I realized it wasn't that great. So this next VoltaiK I have, I'm going to use 20k volts. So I recommend you use skill group 2, and I still will be doing a level 1 to 100 video for VoltaiK. I just wanted to give this whole monster analysis a try and see what you guys think of it. So moving on to skill group 3, the one move you won't be using is Static Force because it doesn't give you an extra move. So it comes down to 50k volts, which many people choose, and it's totally fine. However, I recommend you guys choose Electrodynamic Aggression. And the reason I think Aggression is really, really good is because it's 40 stamina, and check this out, 45 damage. Lots of you are thinking, well, 50k volts are way stronger than that, but look at the difference in stamina also. 40 to 75. Now, of course, you don't get an extra move with Aggression, but what I really, really love about Aggression is that it lets you win in a mirror match. A VoltaiK against VoltaiK, I've seen it happen so many times where I don't use Aggression. I can use 50k volts, I can use Electrodynamic Assault, and I can keep attacking that one VoltaiK over and over, but he won't die because he has this resistance to thunder. However, with Aggression, I can still use Static Shocks, Electrodynamic Assault, and I can just keep attacking different monsters and VoltaiK, and I can end it with Aggression. Yeah, I won't be able to recover or recharge my stamina at the end, but at least I took down his number 1 attacker. So that pretty much always guarantees me the game. So again, I recommend you guys choose Electrodynamic Assaults, 20k volts, Static Shocks, and Aggression. You can make the argument for 50k volts, but I really don't recommend you guys do that. And I'm actually going to switch over to my phone, and I'll show you guys why Aggression is so good. Hopefully I can find a mirror match. Before I leave though, I do want to say, the one time you do want to pick 50k volts, 20k volts, Static Shocks, and Electrodynamic Assaults is if your VoltaiK is going to be used as your player versus player team that you aren't necessarily using. And what I mean by that is, you know when you do a search for player versus player, you battle an AI? In that case, you wouldn't want Electrodynamic Aggression because there's always the chance that the AI is gonna start with Aggression and then VoltaiK wastes his turn. That's a complete waste. Like, there's been times when I fought a Timerion and the very first move they do is cooldowns deactivated, and it's like, well, why are you doing that? You haven't even attacked yet. Why are you wasting a move? But that's how the AI works. So if you only have one VoltaiK and you're really worried about him not being able to beat the enemy on PvP, then yeah, go for 50k volts, go for 20k volts, Static Shocks, and Electrodynamic Assault. However, you shouldn't be too concerned about losing on PvP if you're not in control of it. Since most of the time PvP is going to be you searching for opponents and beating them, I highly, highly recommend Electrodynamic Aggression. And before I do switch over, I do want to talk about runes real quick. Okay, so there's 2 possibilities for runes. One is a strength rune, a speed rune, and a stamina rune. And the reason you want those runes is speed so you can go first, stamina so he can use his attacks more, and strength to boost his slightly low power. The second option is 1 strength rune and 2 stamina runes. And the reason that's a really good option is because the more stamina you have, the more attacks you can use, and even better, the more likely you're going to get your special attack. So it's up to you what you want to use. Right now I'm using my first recommendation, the strength, speed, and stamina rune, And that's just because I like my VoltaiK attacking right after my Timerion, in case there's any monsters that have a 0 cooldown, or any monster that can potentially one-hit my VoltaiK. Alright, so that's my commentary on VoltaiK. That's my analysis on VoltaiK. I'm going to switch over to the game now to show you guys why I think Electrodynamic Aggression is such a good move, and why I definitely think you should include it in your skill list. So this is my first VoltaiK, and you will notice that it has 50k volts instead of 20k volts, but that's fine. Alright, so let me show you my playing style. Alright, he lost his churn, but that's fine. I guess that tough didn't help too much. Okay, Omega Waves. Cool, and I froze him back. Then Timerion will use Stop Time on Metalhead. And then just recharge my stamina. Alright, so this is basically what you do with VoltaiK. Use Static Shocks. Then you use Assault. Then you use Static Shocks. Then, I guess, because I have 50k volts, I can use it from time to time. And then you basically just keep using one move and Static Shocks again. So normally it's Assault and Static Shocks. Once I have 20k volts, it'll probably be 20k volts, Static Shocks, 20k volts, Static Shocks, and so forth. Alright, let me just defeat Metalhead now. I guess I can do Equalizer. No, I still think Equalizer is a very good move for PvP. Lots of people will use loop damage instead of Equalizer. That's perfectly viable. I actually bought another Timerion, and I'm also going to be trying out loop damage. So I'll let you guys know what I think about that later. Alright, so let me just show you guys how strong Assault is. Or not Assault, but Aggression. Here's Electrodynamic Assault. Not that powerful. Static Shocks, pretty more powerful. And then Aggression, a lot more powerful. So all I have to do is one Assault. And no. And then 50k is the strongest, but it also drains my stamina completely. So I'll do a Static Shocks. And then that's weak enough to be beaten by Aggression. Alright, cool. I was able to find a mirror match. So I'll be able to show you guys why I really prefer Aggression over having both 20k volts and 50k volts. So you start by doing Stop Time on a VoltaiK. Again, you don't want him to attack you endlessly. Then you do cooldowns activated, so everyone's going to recharge. So let's see that happen. Recharge. Recharge. Alright, so let's just go through every single move. Assault, not that powerful. Static Shocks, not that powerful. 50k volts, 5,847, not that powerful. Aggression, 10,525. So you can just play regularly. Static Shocks, hit VoltaiK with an Assault. Static Shocks again over here to weaken him. You know, hit VoltaiK with another Assault. Hit him. You can either hit him with a Static Shocks or an Assault. So just to possibly weaken everyone else. And okay, cool, I defeated him. So see how I have 87 stamina left? 50k volts is not enough to defeat him, but it does drain my stamina. So if I was to use 50k volts, I wouldn't be able to attack anymore. Assault, on the other hand, I'd probably be able to use it twice. Yeah, I'd be able to use it 2 more times. That would actually defeat him, but a safer way is just using Aggression. And there. Yeah, I don't get to recharge, but at least the main threat is defeated, and then I can just focus on Timerion, who doesn't have any attacks, so this game is pretty much mine. Look, I even drained all his stamina. That's pretty cool. Then, even then, let's say Assault isn't strong enough to beat him. Let's say Static Shocks wasn't strong enough to beat him. I could end with an aggression. Aggression is such a powerful move to have, so I highly recommend everyone gets it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this monster analysis. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Let me know if you want me to go more in depth as to like maybe what team he works in. Honestly, VoltaiK works in any team. Or just let me know what I can improve on, because this is the very first time I did a monster analysis video and I want to continue to do a lot more. I actually want to do every single monster. So yeah, just leave your comment below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what could be improved. Let me know if I suck, you know, whatever you guys want. I really enjoy doing videos for you guys. So, and I read every single comment. So just whatever's in your mind, let me know. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.